It's the Cable
You think I often crush with Naya? Yeah. So Naya, the cool thing about Naya is you get access to all of the awesome Boros gold cards. And then you also get to have enough playables if Boros isn't open. So that's the that's the main benefit of Naya. Slot some green critters in, fill out the curve, huh? And green's got some solid creatures. It's not like white and red are missing solid creatures these days. I'm gonna grab the Shieldred here. I like me a Shieldred. That's a good ass card right there. And then I guess you just take the Reanimate. If you're going like pure Reanimator, then Demonic Tutor into Reanimate would have been a little bit better. But Shieldred does interact with Reanimation's package pretty well. Get a Grizzlebrand into play with a Shieldred out. Come on. And then this opens up the route for us to do like the draw 7 Shieldred thing. And then also, if they answer your Shieldred, you can just reanimate it back, right? It's nice, some nice resiliency there. Chance Brutality wheeling, sure. Oh shit. Hey Tibbs Malloy, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 98 months there. I guess we're taking Exhume. I suppose. It is one of the worser reanimation effects. Like I was talking about using Reanimate as a redundancy for Shieldred. Exhume is a little bit iffier for that. There's a higher chance that the opponent's getting something back that you don't really want to give them. You could take Verdant here, I guess. It wouldn't be like a crazy pickup. You kind of like the Catacombs? I kind of did too, Roro. I was thinking about it. All right. Now this is exciting. So I was like not super thrilled about being in boring old Reanimator again, but Sneak Attack's always exciting. That's a card right there. Give it some haste, huh? Give it some haste. All right, I'm into it. Exhume is middling and might even will. Yeah, but I mean you're right that like it like sends a pretty bad signal to send it, and like, you don't want the Exhume until you end up in pack 3 without enough reanimation effects, huh? And then you're just, like, desperate. And then it's too late. Nothing wrong with the Seal here. Seal for Sneaky. We're gonna have the Troll, though. Got a couple ways here to get it out on turn 2. Little Voidwalker action. This is starting to look good. I guess I'm taking Seasoned. Suppose. Actually thinking about Duress over Emperor Bones. Emperor Bones is more of a signal. But we're doing like kind of well in terms of ways to cheat things in with the Sneak Attack, the Exhume, and the Reanimate. Duress a little bit more what we need at that point. The Mind Twist is a pretty nice follow-up to Voidwalker. I was thinking about the Epic here, Way to bin something on turn 2 to reanimate it. Be pretty good with Recurring Nightmare. Oh, let's grab the damn Mind Twist. Yeah, some fatties and some fast mana are the main things that we're missing here. Dark Ritual action. Mana Crypt action. Do you play against the people you draft against? It depends. So in these leagues, no. This league, you're doing Swiss, and you can like draft and then set the deck down and come back to it later, all that stuff. There is elimination draft though, if you want to do pod play. The issue with the elimination draft, when you're streaming, is that once you're done and you have your deck built and stuff, now you have to kill 10 minutes while everybody else finishes building their decks. And then you play your quarters, and then after your quarters, like if you have a quick round, now you have to wait for everybody else to finish their matches before you play the top 4. So there's certainly some advantages to pod play. It's like pretty nice to, you know, if you take a card, know that you won't have to play against that card. And your sideboard effects, your sideboarding picks matter a whole lot more because, like, you know what is open in your draft, what people are taking. So there's certainly some advantages, but from the streaming side, there's some huge advantages playing Swiss too. So I'm a huge currency converter fan, but we're going to take Ragavan here. A little Ragavan action. Bowmaster and Shieldred. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we would take a Wheel of Fortune over just about anything, Maybe not like literal power, but it's pretty close. Hopefully Battlesphere is not my main reanimation target. Is the Clamp any good? I mean, we got Bowmasters and Seasoned Pyromancer. It could draw a shitload of cards. I kind of like the Fatal Push as a way to push the Ragavan through. We don't have a ton of removal here. I'm gonna grab the Clamp. You would like a chance to play to keep the cards again? Yeah, I mean, obviously they know that was super fucking popular. Transmute Artifact in Vintage Cube. You need to have a lower powered Vintage Cube, I think. Unless you're putting, like, Time Vault in there. I would much rather have something like Enlightened Tutor. They're both card disadvantage, but Enlightened Tutor is so mana efficient, right? You can, like, turn 1 E-Tutor for your Black Lotus, play a 5-drop on 2. It's really cool if everyone put that together. The cube thing? Yeah. I wish it was in a version of the Vintage Cube at a little bit higher of a win rate in. I remember getting really frustrated in those things. Never really found my groove. And they lasted so long, right? It was like 6 weeks of it straight or something. I think I just needed to, like, realize that I was burning out and take some breaks. Do some variety streaming or something. Keep it fresh. I think a lot of just, like, living life is figuring out what your weaknesses are, what you're good at, what you're dog shit at. Yeah, Woodfall Primus is not my, like, premium reanimation target, but we're sitting here. Pack 2's almost done. Sometimes you just snag it, Grief and Vamp Tutor. An issue with the Grief is we only have 2 ways of reanimating, and one of them is Exhume. That's a good one to Dark Ritual out, though. I think I'm gonna grab the Vamp. If we do get Wheel of Fortune, it'll help me combine that combo, Help me combine Bowmasters or Shieldred with it. I can see a world where we just, like, Vamp for Dark Ritual, use it to Mind Twist them or run out Shieldred on 2. How's the standards? Really good. I think we dropped, like, a match or something. Trying out a couple of off-meta decks. One Grizzlebrand. Yeah, Grizzlebrand might be the actual best one here. It's a little better when you got a Shieldred out. We have Woodfall Primus to potentially answer Caracas. Chat's talking how difficult drawing is, illustration. I think it looks pretty easy. You're just, like, scribbling on a page, right? I could do that. It's not like a real job. Not like playing Magic the Gathering online. Hey, Clickety Clack, thanks for the sob. Thanks for the 16 months there. Thanks for sharing the Prime. This Mox Emerald is so not good for the mana, but we're going to grab it. You'd think we'd see a Badlands somewhere, Don't love the Arena of Glory. The Lutri is, like, almost interesting. Maybe I'm just supposed to grab the Death Greeter's Champion. Maybe I'm supposed to grab the Toxic Deluge, actually. Well, there's a Blood Crypt. Now the Troll can actually get me a Fixer. Awesome. It's just putting cardboard on a table. You can do that. Oh, it seems like you're just putting cardboard on a table. But your opponent, you are locked in a battle of wits. Your enemy is not the cardboard. Your enemy is a human being. The most dangerous game. Whereas in art, your opponent is a piece of paper. Are you going to get outsmarted by a piece of paper? Come on. We have like 668 viewers. I bet there's at least one person that thinks I'm serious. Exactly one. Kind of need that Evora. The Metamorphosis isn't bad. I think I'm going to take Fable here. I think we need that. Or maybe the Vaultborn, huh? With Sneak Attack, you kind of need like multiple things to sneak into play. Vaultborn's not like an embarrassing one. I do really want that Fable, though. Fuck, If people couldn't get outsmarted by paper, lawyers wouldn't exist. Ooh. Well played, Midva. Well played. College ruled paper sounds pretty smart. Little Verge action, huh? Little fixer. Hey, J Grash, how goes the queuing? Pretty well. Pretty well. First draft of the day here. We actually started off with some standard. I was enjoying myself. Only played against Vivi once, and we beat it. Which I was happy about. Do you still like this clamp? Pack 3 didn't really add a ton here, just the Blood Tithe. We have some, like, so, like, the Voidwalker. The Voidwalker and the Harvester do both sacrifice themselves, which is kind of cute with the clamp. You don't need to draw very many cards before clamp is good. And then we do still have the Bowmasters and the Pyromancers spitting out tokens. It's interesting for sure. The Metamorphosis is a lot better with the Vampiric Tutor in here. You're excited to watch some Cube? Hell yeah. You just had a 3-hour tattoo session? Oh, that's exhausting. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was going to get a tattoo after CubeCon last year. And by the time it came around, I was like, absolutely not. I'm going to have to cancel. I can't do this. It's like a tolerable amount of pain, but you're right. It fucking exhausts you. I think I dig it. I think I dig all this. The first coloring session of a half sleeve. One more session to go. Very fun. How do I think about this? 8, 9, 10, 11 blank sources, plus a dark ritual. 8 red. It's rough because the Pyromancer's double and like Sneak Attack's probably double. Maybe it's better off to be 12 blank sources. We are very heavy black after all. Seven red just seems like Pyromancer's just not happening often enough, though. Let's jam this. Anyway, so I had to like actually make a bunch of phone calls to figure out the information they wanted, which felt arcane because a simple year or two ago I could have just looked that up, right? Did I have to write a check? No. Maybe for like the first month. Who's my mortgage servicer? Freedom Mortgage. And they suck. When I got my mortgage, like I researched the bank that I was signing a contract with, and like I had no idea that they can just sell your shit. I was super ignorant of that fact. They just like they're like, "Yep, congrats on closing. We're gonna sell this loan to this other person, and they're gonna administer it." And then I was like, okay, well maybe it's not that bad. And I looked up the fucking mortgage company that my loan got sold to, and it just like has terrible ratings. Everyone's like, fuck this place. They bought my loan and I hate them. Wait. Do I want to kill my own orc army so I can get both of these in the bin? I think I do. Well, I guess I should attack first. Get my 1 point of damage in, Same thing happened to you. Yeah, I think it's really common. You can... I have learned since, because I was, like, ranting about this online. I have learned since that there are some companies, typically credit unions, that will guarantee they won't sell your mortgage. And you do have to, like, pay a little bit extra for that. But if I could do it again, I would. That would be, like, absolutely worth it to me. Maybe if I ever buy another house, who knows? I have considered moving before, and just because the cost of living in Madison is a bit much. Great fucking city, though. I do love it here. That fucking keen-eyed curator is gonna gunk up my shit here, isn't it? Well, we can vamp for Exhume, and they'll only be able to exile one thing, unless they ripped a land, in which case... Anyway, so I got all that stuff straightened out and felt pretty good about myself. And then I had an appointment to get fingerprinted. I'm trying to get a license to be a substitute teacher. And apparently that's part of it in Wisconsin. Basically, it involved going to like a FedEx place. And I just like showed the form to the guy behind the counter, and he's like super expressionist. He's like, "Yeah, go over there." And then he just like took each one of my fingers and jammed it down on like just like a scanning device, right? And like rolled it around while the machine was like, "You're doing a terrible job at this. You should do a better job. That's not a wide enough fingerprint. Are you sure the surface is clean?" And he's just like, at one point it froze, and we were like, "Oh my god," because we were like 90% of the way through. I win! Yeah, I was a little bit worried giving them their mana dork back, right? Because if they hit the land here, they got Nissa. It's kind of a good thing that we got their crop rotation out, because that could go get Gaia's Cradle, and then they'd have Nissa and all the mana in the universe, and that would probably overwhelm my Grave Titan, you know? And just trade with it and have a couple 2/2s and then get a bunch of 3/3s. A little fortunate on my part, I think. So if they're playing green, I want to get this Toxic Delusion here. Would I teach history or English? Yeah, I mean, I have so with substitute teaching, like you're mostly just like following the lesson plan of the teacher before you. So I would probably avoid math, but I don't think I would have an issue with most subjects. Civics, history, English and writing, that sort of thing. Or English language arts, as they're referred to now. At your high school, subs pretty much just hit play on a video. Yeah, we had some of that, Ween. And, like, I don't mind that either. Like, if I were to show up and, like, that's the lesson plan is, like, we have this instructional video, then it's like, okay, well, I can sit here and read whatever. Earn a few dollars while I babysit. But I don't mind the the idea of actually having to teach either. And I certainly know there's going to be like there's going to be a certain percentage of like hell classrooms, and some teaching districts are like more pleasant to work with than others. I remember I had a class in middle school where they were like a group of like 3 boys that would try to make like every teacher cry, basically. That was like their goal. That's some fucked up shit. I think Ragavan has a very low chance of getting in this matchup. Thinking about Chainsaw, thinking about Mind Twist. I do like the Toxic Deluge. I could actually see bringing in the Glorybringer. Flyers are pretty good. Let's play this Chainsaw. I want like one more removal spell, since they've got those, that little bit of Graveyard Hate, right? That Graveyard Hate critter. You teach math as your pseudo-retirement, and it's pretty awesome. Nice. Love that, Jessilla. I have not Air. That does sound interesting to me. Road to Empress. You said it's a visual novel. They're calling it a survival game, but I could see it being. Our question is, do we just run out Voidwalker on 2? Do we want to vamp for Dark Ritual to play the Sneak Attack on 2? Do we want to vamp for Toxic Deluge to just like clean up whatever they're ramping into? I think I'm going to do the Toxic thing, just try to slow them down. As a teacher, most teachers wouldn't expect that a sub actually teach the content area. Yeah. It kind of depends on how long the teacher's gone for, though, right? Like, you can't just, like, not have... anything going on for days and weeks and what. Yeah, it's mostly about helping out my local school district, as opposed to some burning desire to teach. Earning a few bucks on the side. In the Madison area, it's like $200. That's like a full day, right? But you don't have to do all the teaching extras of like grading papers and stuff and making lesson plans for the most part. I briefly thought about Toxicking for 1 and then sacking the Voidwalker to get Birds of Paradise to try and set up Sneak Attack activate next turn, and then I realized that they have this Ren and 6, and that wouldn't work very well. This is not a good spot for me, Kind of regretting not grabbing the Dark Ritual off the Vamp Tutor. Make a hasty crab here. So yeah, I was thinking, like, my schedule is fairly flexible. It's something that I could do as a side gig fairly painlessly without interfering with my streaming. They're doing bigger creature stuff than I am. Now I really regret not getting this crab down, huh? I could have gotten a Volpor in. I think we can scoop you, aim. Fuck aim. The Ragavan does get a lot better on the play. I don't know if it gets enough better to play it, but it is certainly better. What if I cut the Voidwalker aim? Probably super wrong. Tempted by the Mind Twist too, The Voidwalker Mind Twist pairing here. Your wife's a substitute for the little ones. Yeah, I'm not bad with small kids. Like, I've had some long-term relationships with single moms. And that was like never a huge issue. Or like my nieces and nephews and their friends. Obviously, it's like a different thing when you've got like a lot of them, though, right? If you have like 20 little kids instead of like 3 or 4. And it doesn't seem like there'd be a lot of breaks, right? Like you'd have to be always on. Maybe nap time, I guess. They're just off and they're like, Duress, fuck that. Fuck Duress, fuck you, fuck this match, I'm going home. All right, fair enough. Didn't want to be Duress. This is probably a bad keep, but I'm intrigued. Okay. And I'm just not doing anything over here, Teachers don't get paid enough? They certainly don't. Yeah, we had that conversation the other day. Sure. But hold on to this Mox Emerald to maybe bid into Brutality. Where's a Mind Twist when you need one, right? We're just like chilling here for a billion years. Oh yeah, it is now. Where do you teach? If you don't mind me asking. Yeah, shit. I was hoping the crab would get a proper death. This can fucking non-line and non-token permanent. I think I should collect Brutality first. Almost want to drain. Could hit their Witch Enchanter to hit the Goblin Bombardment. And now the Ragavan gets to connect. Y'all ever row until you fight the Powa? Iceland. That's gotta be cool. Hell yeah, Summers. That is a lot of damage. Does let me get a Ragavan hit in. Yeah, I was planning on Pyromancer, Block, and Fury here, so I'm just gonna eat 9. Can we get a good one? We cannot. Laelia. Palace Jailer's Exile. That is a bummer. Assume they're going to want to hit my Voidwalker. Oh, they're leaving the Voidwalker. Interesting. I guess if I hit them with the Voidwalker, then they get their creature back into play. If I get an answer to that Fury, though, then I can crack Voidwalker and cast the Fury, which could be good. We'll see what we draw here. Dicks. Did I ever update this deck on the overlay? I don't think I did. I don't think I even updated overlays. Yeah, I got the wrong one up. Did I export this deck so I can actually look at it? That's my next question. I did. Okay. The main point of interest for me right now is whether I've got like a Shallow Grave type card in here. I don't think I do. There is a Shallow Grave. Okay. Tomorrow's the first Icelandic CubeCon. Very cool. Yeah, we need to rip this Shallow Grave. So we're going to bin Metamorphosis Fanatic here. Just thin one card that's not a Shallow Grave specifically. And now we have a 1 in 21. Could have been a 1 in 22. And then, like, mid-combat, we would Shallow Grave the Metamorphosis, which would get the Crab, right, is the idea. It's like the one way I could see us pulling through there. I'm gonna cut Duress. I want to bring in Chainsaw. Do I want Toxic? I don't think I do. It would have been good at the end of that game, but I think we want our games to go a little better than that game. Yeah, I don't know. They had several critters that are worth clearing. I guess I'll cut the Clamp and the Voidwalker and bring in Toxic. Maybe Voidwalker still belongs, Let's play Glorybringer instead of the Voidwalker. How about that? Glorybringer looking a little rough here. That is not a bad draw. We could Shallow Grave Gravetite and then leave 4 2/2s in play, or we could Shallow Grave Crab and leave, you know, something awesome in play, whatever we get to steal from them. I'm gonna bin the Grave Titan. Hold on. I have to play that now, the Vamp Tutoring, because of the Voice of Victory. I guess I could have played it on Upkeep. You get kind of dicked if they wasteland you, which we know they have. Glad I played her on Wasteland. They just got a headliner for me. Fuck. A turn before a 10-point lifelink swing. GG. Well, murdered, huh? Well, Soul Ring and the Mox Pearl helped a little bit. Good stuff. I guess. Hand's a little clunky, right? Like, you can Flame Slash on turn 2 because it's Verge. Verge is your red source. Sick art, though. And then you're hoping that you'll have the second red source by 3 for the Pyromancer. And get some stuff in your graveyard, maybe Shallow Grave Crab. And who knows how good that even is. I actually wonder if I should be slow dredging the Crab or the Grave Titan here. Just to get it in the bin. Just make sure it gets in the bin. I think there's some method to that madness. Some rhyme to that reason. I don't know which of these is the best to bin. I guess I'll go Grave Titan. And I'm actually just going to pass here. And the plan is to overwhelm their counters. So I can play Shallow Grave on their end of turn. And force them to decide whether that's worth countering. Whether an attack for 10 and then putting 8 power into play is good enough. Yeah, Shallow Grave says at the beginning of the next end step. So if you Shallow Grave on their end of turn, you should get to untap and attack with the critter. I'm just going to jam. The next cleanup Vold Orange. I literally read it out. Beginning of the next end step. This is the line that matters. Since you're already in the end step, it's not going to exile it then. It's like Through the Breach. Show me what you got. Oh, that's a fucking important duress right there. Voldurange, I just went over it. You do it during the end step, you do get to attack with the creature. I don't know how many more times I gotta show you the Shallow Grave text. It says exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So you do it on their end of turn. You untap with it, you attack with it. That all works. Then on your end of turn, which would be the next end step, it would then exile. Land for this Liliana Edict would be... Oh, they're just off it anyway. You love this movie? It's a great movie. I was at the used bookstore earlier. Got some nice pickups. Mostly Blu-rays, actually, but I did consider. They also have a vinyl section. It's like a half-price books thing, and they've got all kinds of sections, right? And there's a vinyl section, which I briefly perused, and the one vinyl I considered scooping was their the Blues Brothers soundtrack. Oh, we gotta get this Mind Twist in here, huh? Are you talking about Treetop Village in Tropic Ender? I only remember it because I've been playing a lot of pre-modern. That land sees a lot of play. Jesus, this is my second Mox Soul Ring opponent. Bang-to-bang matches here. Does Fairy Conclave? In pre-modern, Fairy Conclave sees a little bit of play. It's got some pretty serious downsides, though. One, toughness is brutal in a format where people play, like, Curse Scroll and Lava Dart and shit. Even in land still, they typically don't play very many Conclave. They'll play, like, one or two. Because they already have... They usually have other comes to play tapped lands, and then they're playing for Mishra's Factories. Yeah, Master Mike. They gotta have something sick. Brain Surge. Oh, it's not bad. Ooh, get their Strip Mine, though. Get thee hence. What a great line. Get thee hence to endless night. You think they're gonna wait on their Brain Surge to try and Lutri copy it? Get that value and get the fucking extra 2 cards? I guess not. Very easy to undertap with Frantic Search when you're using Artifact mana. Opponent played it right, though. They get to Snapcast Mystical, but I get a Vaultborn Tyrant. That seems better for me. Guess we'll find out. On our next turn, we can hardcast like Grave Titan or Crab. Draw a card, maybe. He's just doing his best. He's just a little guy. Tutored up a Cryptic, fair enough. Okay. That doesn't, like, beat me. We even get to gain 3 more when our copy comes into play. Draw another card. I really want to crab them. Oh, we know they have Cryptic in hand. That's sick. Choose target opponent. You got it. Okay. Yeah, it's like getting Cryptic out of their hand seems really important. Can like bounce a Worm token or something. Oh, that deck's not bad. It can steal my Vaultborn. Do 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 do. Hold the phone. Is that exciting? They're at 14. I mean, they have 15 power that can cover me. I'm gonna do it. I'm sick of all this thinking. Oh, interesting. I feel pretty good about my decision to shallow grave the the 6/6 there. I think that worked out. If you sneak into the Shieldred on upkeep, it prevents them from looting it all. But it's so much more satisfying to do it in response, right? Hell yeah. That was a good time. I enjoyed that deck. Got ranged by Boros in there, but the rest was sweet.